It was brought up in both your answers that downtown parking is a big problem. What can be done specifically about the parking?
Okay, so my wife and I probably eat on Main Street about once a week. I'm on Main Street all the time, and I got to be honest with you, I've always been able to find parking. I have. Parking, I've not noticed it to be significantly be a problem, and I know during festival times there's a lot of signs that tells you where to go and where to park and things like that. I guess maybe for some of the people that live in Grapevine know where to go and where to park. If you're going to go down to Main Street. A lot of the residents that live around the Main Street area, obviously walk if they want to go down to Main Street. I sat at the council meeting last week, and there was a young lady or a person trying to get addition to their restaurant, and the mayor kind of got on and said, we got a parking, and what are you about parking and this and that and the other. I mean, those are things that we have to look at. I mean, as if we want to continue to make Grapevine downtown a destination. I realize there's a parking problem, but I think there are other things in our city that are really more important right now than parking on Main Street. Not that we don't need to look at it, we do. And I think as we move forward, we'll find those places to park. And I mean, if we need to put in parking garage at some point, I'm sure that we'll find a place to put a parking garage and people can walk to Main Street.
Thank you. Mr. Wright.
Okay, well, I have a little advantage over Mr. Leal on this particular subject because I live there and see it every day. And, parking is multiple components, and being able to find a place to park and go into a restaurant or a business it's doable. People like to park right in front of where they're going, but that's not always available. The biggest concern I have, or the bigger concern, is the congestion that the parking creates, especially during the festivals or from a few days before Thanksgiving till after the first of the year. Our streets are full in the surrounding neighborhoods. That's where the real problem is. It causes congestion. There are certain choke points, like at Smith and College, that people park on both sides of the road. Somebody enters from one end, somebody enters from the other, and they just get stuck in there. And we learned this in the big Christmas festival or parade a few years ago, that the streets got so closed up that the safety cannot get through. If there was an emergency, there was no way to get an ambulance or fire truck through because the streets were all jammed. So the only way to do that is to provide some other method of parking, which is about the only choice is some type of parking garage, whether it be in the, I guess, more northern end of the Main Street corridor, or it's more remote with shuttles. But someday, not too distant future, that needs to happen so you uncongest the surrounding neighborhood streets. That's the biggest driving factor to me. So it's a tough one, because where are you going to put it? What are you going to knock down to put it there? And the city has been working on this. They kicked the can down the road, but the can needs to be taken care of.